That works. Function way too big, but it's basically yeah. But no, I'm gonna add it back in. I basically just wanna make sure before I do any capture manipulation, whatever, that all of the we left. This would be the squeeze, which is correct. And technically when I go in here, it should be in balance. Yeah. Cool. So the detection for whether or not we're in our thing is actually correct. Now what I want to do is, based on the speed you're moving forward, just detect whether or not you're gonna still be in yeah, based on the speed you're moving forward. I want to detect basically if you're going to still be in an advanced locomotion state. This card here. The only thing I really change is, but I'm gonna do it multiplied by so this is gonna go 1 second ahead and 1 second behind in time to check if in a second, because that's what our blend is. our blend time is actually 1 second to go in and out of things. So if in 1 second you're going to be balancing, I want to start blending so that once you are balancing, you're already in that locomotion form. So hopefully this allows us to, I think this, quite frankly, needs to be the same for this general. Like when you update the parameters, I think we need to check in the it's difficult because we kind of want to check in the future where we're going to be, because it's like, okay, if in a second I'm not going to be balanced anymore, I want to start to transition back to thing. But I think realistically the danger of that is you'll come out too early. Say if I'm balancing on a wall, if in a second I'm going to be off the wall, I don't necessarily want to transition to wherever I'm going to be off the wall. I want to wait till I'm actually off the wall. So some things you kind of want to do as and how it happens, other things you want to do immediately, like preemptively. So like when I update the capsule, I want to do that preemptively. So like reactively, sorry. So like as I come out of there, then I update the capsule. So I actually think I only need to here. So preemptively, yes. So I'm going to say here ahead of time, if I'm going to do this check for that, and if I'm going to be in advanced locomotion, so I'm going to check forward and backwards. And basically what I'm saying is, if, because this is actually redundant, this check here is completely useless. No, this is actually that. So I'm going to check forward and I'm going to check backwards. And basically we're saying, okay, if I'm going to be in advanced locomotion, so one of the things, I only actually want to update this if I don't have no, that's my thing. What I can do actually is I can do this better. What I can do is then basically say, because I've done this is the same check. So basically saying, if a second from now I'm going to be in advanced locomotion, a second. You know what I'm going to do, because this is actually, this capsule update is actually specific to squeeze. So yeah, it's actually like wholly specific to being in the squeeze one. So what I'm actually going to do is just make he's going to make a function that basically is just going to check whether or not I'm in an advanced locomotion state, in a specific type of advanced locomotion state, given a type of advanced locomotion state and these parameters I'm going to check. So be private. Is in So what was I gonna say? I'm basically gonna say, no, sorry, this is just a boolean. Return true or false. And what I want to say is return if but basically, all this is going to do is check if this is equal to a given state. Now, as I believe, is that this advanced locomotion state, the types, it's initialized as none actually. So when I actually do make it, if it isn't in any specific advanced locomotion type, this is actually going to be none, so it doesn't actually matter. So we're just going to check that that is equal to the state to check against. So whether or not it actually is in advanced locomotion is useless. We don't even need to check this parameter. This variable is useless. But it's like, yeah, it's actually completely redundant. We don't need it at all. But I'll keep it for now. Yeah, actually, we don't need it at all, because we can just do a check that says if this type is null or none, then we know it's not in there. But it's a complete waste of memory. So, like here, you know what I mean? Like we're setting this already. Jesus, I use it everywhere. Yeah, I'll keep it for now. I'll go through and change it later, because it just doesn't need to be there. Actually, there's no point in. There's no point. So if it's in advanced locomotion state, yeah. So doesn't equal. So if it's not equal to none, basically. We can go back, finding files. And then as I was saying, if we're not in advanced logo, so if advanced locomotion type is none, then we want to recover stamina basically. Yeah. There you go. I can also make it could just make a function that's like is in advanced locomotion. That's a pretty easy change. That's just purely for C++, quite frankly. But it means that now we can get rid of all of these useless variables. Much better. And then you just don't need this anymore. Literally one variable. Now, one thing is that we don't need this to be a struct anymore. However, I do think these parameters are going to increase, so I'm going to leave it as a struct, because if it's just one variable, it's just a variable, right? But I'm just going to leave it as a structure because I want to initialize it in different places, so it isn't just technically one variable, because I'm going to create copies of it basically, and I do a check on it every time. So when I create any object of it, I need it to initialize back to its original whatever. And I could just create a variable of that, like, but it's the same thing really. So no, that's the correct way to do it. Because it also has to be a specific type of thing. So yeah. Shimmy right. Cool. I'm gonna quickly, before I continue, fix the, because I think this is gonna cause me some blueprint errors. Before I go ahead and, oh, here we go. So just so they don't get any confused. So if that does not equal none and that ignore as a terrible. Yeah, so I thought this would cause me issues. So if here, when I check for the advanced locomotion, basically saying, is it in advanced locomotion? Same thing, the advanced locomotion type. One thing I need to do, okay, now what I can do quite carefully here is, so if the advanced locomotion type, so let me just do it right now actually, the main change I was going to do. So if I do here, so I'm just going to write this out from the start. So say if is in advanced locomotion state, and I'm going to say the params I'm going to pass to are character. What's this? That's going to be the first parameter, and then the second parameter is going to be the state to check on basis E advanced locomotion squeeze. So I can now encapsulate all of the squeeze shrinking just into one if I don't have any problems. What's this here? Double, Jesus. Oh yeah, I need to do check. So if check for advanced locomotion. So that's there. And then state to check against is squeeze. If it is in the squeeze state there. So that's basically we're saying, okay, if or do the same thing again, because there's 3 different scenarios. So these are, but they're separate to what our current state is going to be. So we're saying here, if this makes no sense. Oh yes, because I use this here. Yeah. So basically, because I only do the check if it's equal to null, basically, so that you're not turning. Hey, Moritaka. Oh, thanks. So I'm gonna do the check when you're not turning, basically, because if you're turning, I don't want to update the size of the capsule. I just want it to stay the same. So what I'm gonna say here is, so we first done our check. So we're saying, okay, are we going to be squeezing? Were we just in squeeze, or like behind us, or just in squeeze, or are we currently squeezing? Because one of the things that happens as you open the capsule, the second it comes out, it does like a little glitch thing, and I want to avoid that. So what I'm saying is here is like, are we just in squeeze? Are we in squeeze right now? Are we going to be squeezed, or were we previously in squeeze? And then I'm going to do another if here. If we're not turning, basically, and are we not turning? So if we're not turning here, we're gonna, so like, locomotion turn equals null. That means we're not turning, so we're moving straight. Then I actually want to set the radius of this capsule to that. And yeah, I might need to do an else that checks, basically, that I might need to set the capsule to just 1 if we are turning, but that's a separate issue. We'll have a look at it in a sec. Update the capsule radius. You can actually update the radius, and that is just this value. So it's I get the distance. So basically, the squeeze distance between walls is like, I get the 2 wall points, and I update it whenever I'm polling whether or not I'm currently in advanced locomotion, half it, and then I take away 1 from it. So it's like I get the distance, half it to get the radius, and then I reduce it by 1, so it just takes it in by 2, just so that it has a little bit of leeway. This can be a value, but I'm just going to have it as 1 for now. Let's see what happens. I'm expecting first of all a load of blueprint errors, because I changed some of the parameters of the actual advanced locomotion params struct. So I'm gonna have a bunch of and in blueprint problems that I need to solve. And then once I've solved that, we can actually test to see what works. I'm currently drinking water out of a straw. I don't know why. What art are you working on? Out of curiosity. any 3D art. That'd be pretty cool. And then I also want to basically, because then tomorrow me and Dad are going to tackle the shimmies. But I want to set up all the anim state stuff today, so everything's all sorted and ready to go for tomorrow. So I want to clean up whether or not it knows it's balancing or shimmying or doing whatever. That's all clean and ready, so it's doing what it needs to do. The capsule shrinks or does whatever it needs to do based on what it's doing. And yeah, then once I've sussed out oh, wicked. Was it for like a project or work, or what's the vibe? Yeah, then once I've done that, hopefully then I can have, yeah, once I've done, then I'll clean up the anim blueprint so that it's all good to go for tomorrow. And then hopefully, I actually want to just we don't need this anymore. We're gonna get another error somewhere. Oh, we're not even, because I disconnected the pin, so it wouldn't even. So, but the error would have been in the one place where it would have had error. But this is where. So if it does not equal none, then you can actually transition. I'm not going to do it. I don't want to actually go into the animation state at any point in time, but I want to see if it's going to do the capsule shrinking and stuff. So if you see here, balance, none, balance, cool. And then here, squeeze. Oh, obviously with it. See, that is another thing. Yeah. So that is with the that's one problem we need to solve. But my only worry is that I do think that the way I do the advanced locomotion is going to change. So I'm not. You know, basically, it's a pretty simple check actually. But I just want to do one check basically. I just want to see if I can come out of it. No, I can't. Okay, I need to make a change. So the change is just to be like this here. I do this. I do a load of checks to say we're not jumping, we're not this, we're not doing that. I'm gonna do one where it says we're not in advanced locomotion basically. That's wrong though, because I want to actually let you be able to climb stuff whilst you're for a comic project. Oh, wicked! That sounds really cool. I want you to, yeah, you need to be able to climb walls whilst you're squeezing or balancing or whatever. I'm just gonna use this now as a debug so it doesn't crop up. My turns are a bit different. What I can actually do is do get locomotion. Oh, what I can do is character owner, get locomotion turn. So, and locomotion turn is null, so you're not turning right now in your locomotion. So if you're turning at any point, don't do your like you need to actually have turned your character and then be moving in the direction you want to move in before for it to actually like try and pick up whatever it wants to pick up basically. It's just the thing that I'm doing for it, so that it won't, like, as you turn, it doesn't do an annoying like oh we're trying to turn but it's climb up the wall like you see there. So hopefully, option turn. Oh no, the plan is to have it available on all consoles, I believe. Yeah, that's the plan. Dev and stuff will just be PC, just because of how. Okay, interesting. So, one thing I'm gonna do is just debug the capsule, so I can see the size of which it's going to. So if you see, it actually shrunk ahead of time. So only once I've stepped out of there does it actually shrink back. There's a couple so turning is, see, it seems that, okay, so when the locomotion, it seems the capsule actually does resize itself. That's one thing I really want to avoid. So what I want to do is, because basically the parameters, they don't update when if you're turning, so it won't check for a new locomotion form whilst you're turning, basically. Now one thing I want to do is, yeah, so if you are turning, else I just want to set the radius of the capsule to 1. Just to see if that helps the turn not be so collision-y, and then it can re-enlarge the capsule back to the shrunken down width of the wall, basically. So hopefully if I go in here, turn. Yeah, bear in mind the turning itself is a bit janky. Quite frankly, I don't even know if I need this if statement. Let's just see, because I think it should just always, if we're in squeeze, if we're gonna be in squeeze, whatever. Because if I'm in squeeze, then just set it to whatever the value is, because that value doesn't update then, so it's just gonna stay, just like basically saying make sure you stay at that value. Hopefully that prevents it from doing any weird. Oh yeah, well yeah, that works well actually. The capsule does update. Yeah. See, no, it does that. You see. What's weird is that. Yeah, the capsule is definitely updating its size. You know what? It's because, yes, I see. It's because this value changes here. Okay. I see. Because what's happening actually is, because I do the call. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. So because I call the function to basically update. Yeah, because I call the function to check whether or not I'm in advanced locomotion, basically, it means that yeah, yeah. So because I call the function to check whether or not I'm in advanced locomotion, I update the value of the squeeze in the check. So if I'm changing the value of the squeeze distance, I update within that function. This just means that when I call the function in just like a way to check in the future, the value also changes. Now that doesn't seem that seems quite quite dangerous. Um, I feel like what I'm actually gonna do. What I'm actually gonna do. Because one of the issues that's gonna happen is, yeah, one of the issues that's gonna happen is the forward check. It's gonna be like, oh, you're not squeezing anymore, so it doesn't update the value. The backward check, no, actually, that wouldn't be an issue. But I guess if you move from like, if the forward check is bigger, like the wall distance is bigger, the squeeze value might actually increase, which is a problem because it's sort of like then you have two different values there. So I can't have the set for that in this function. Checking whether or not I'm in there, I need to. But it makes sense too because that's when we also check forward as well. Like we check in the future what the value is going to be. There's a couple things we can do. We could make a function to basically try and determine what the size of the capsule should be if we're squeezing, and like make that function specific. Although I feel like that's just adding extra traces because the trace logic is here. Like we get the values we need here, and I don't want to add another trace when one's already been done. So how could we use what we've done already? How can we use what we've done already to work in our favor? Let's think. We could. Okay, a couple of things we could do. We could do it so that, because I also think it should be separate. Because this function is just checking whether or not we're going to be in that. I think it should be separate, logically speaking. And I think in here, when we update the capsule, then we can do whatever logic we want to do with the squeeze stuff. So I think here, if we're saying, okay, we know we're either going to be squeezing or we're previously squeezing or are squeezing, then what I actually think we should do is 3 traces to try and find the smallest squeeze distance. So say if it opens up, we always take whatever the smallest squeeze distance is, and that is what we're always updating the thing to be in. So if we are squeezing, and that's fine because if we're not squeezing, I actually wouldn't fire those traces off. Okay, I don't mind doing that actually. Let's do this. Let's do this. So for squeezing, let's first initialize these hits values, and we only need the left and right wall. And then we'll get rid of these two functions here. And then what I'm also going to do is, for the sake of what I'm actually debugging, I know these work, so let's kill. These. And now let's save. Okay, so let's save. So the first one is going to be ahead of us. So we're going to take this location here. And we're going to add... what I'll do actually is just... It just seems memory crappy. You could just do the computation in the same thing. It doesn't really matter. It's just a bit messy in code, but who really cares? So we'll get the location, given that speed. If I'm not mistaken, these are the exact same function, right? So that was why I was getting so many problems coming out, is because they were the same. I was only looking ahead. I need to also look behind. So I mean, that's already the first fix. Yeah, well, now that helps. So yeah, minus this. So I'm moving at XY speed at 100 miles per hour. A second ago I was there. Yeah, I'll go with you and increase it. Okay, so now we need to do the same thing basically. But this time we're gonna subtract and subtract because we wanna. No. See, this is a bit. This is a lot more complex actually. Because we need 4. Because we want to know the right wall ahead of time and the right wall behind. Yeah. But then I guess we also want to know the current one. Because what if it converges? You know? we'll call it. Okay, so this is very bad. It seems super unautomatic. I'll improve this later. Let's just do it. Let's just get it doing what I needed to do first, then we can see how I can make it better. So in the future, we say. So now we need the left wall in the future, basically. And then here, I need to subtract the right vector, but it's still the future. Okay. And now, yeah, and I just subtract that right vector, and so that'll give me my trace in the future, left and right. Now I want to do the same thing in the past, in the present, currently. So the current hits, and what we're going to do is in this, we're going to kill this position. We don't care about the future location or whatever it is. And in this one, we're going to subtract this stuff here. And we'll say so we've got what we're going to be in the future in 1 second from now, where we were 1 second ago, and where we are now. And then we're basically going to figure out, okay, like of all these three, which one has the smallest capsule radius? That's what we need to lerp towards. So then we'll say here. It's good because now we can have float. What's nice is I think we can even get rid of this variable here, which is really good. Which is definitely the right thing to be doing. Makes more sense. Okay. So now we can say float. Yeah. So we have future wall width is equal to distance between points. I create this function myself just to calculate. And then location A is going to be right or future hits dot impact point, and left or future hits dot impact point. And but we actually need this to be dot horizontal distance. So I made it basically for this. I made a struct that takes the total distance, horizontal distance, and vertical distance, calculates all three based on two positions. They don't have that in Unreal, weirdly enough. So now I can just context manager, because like sometimes you need to know the context of the world of the character, so I just put it in there. So now we say, my stream is quite nice. So this is our future wall width. So it's how wide the wall is going to be in the future. And then we say we should have done it past, current, future, but So we have the horizontal distance in the future, the now, and the past. And then we say think. I think I can just do min. Yeah, like we could like you said. But here we go. Min 3 between 3 values. Beautiful. So future wall width. Current wall width. Past wall width. And then we say therefore the minimum distance squeeze equal to the minimum one of these three. Yep, is the minimum one of these three. And now what we can then do is basically say, okay, look, we're in this scenario. We said, okay, we're either gonna be in a squeeze, we're either currently in a squeeze, or we're either gonna be in a squeeze, we either were in a squeeze, or we're currently in a squeeze. If that's the case, let's check what is the future scenario going to be, what's the current scenario going to be, and what's the past scenario going to be. In that situation, let's check all our context, find out the distance between each ones, calculate the width between those ones, find the smallest width, so whichever's on the smallest one, whether or not that's what we previously were, so we have a nice transition out, whether or not that's where we currently are, so we don't have any bumping around, or whether or not that's where we're going to be, so we have a nice transition in. And then what I want to do is character owner. Equals that. Oh yeah, that divided by 2.0f. Because yeah, I want to. Oh yeah, so the wall width is that. So that's the width of the wall. Let's not be. Oh, we don't even need to know. Squeeze radius. Store value if we don't need to store value. Do this. This. 0f. Let's do minus 1.0. So we'll just yeah. Then we'll just take 2 off. So we'll just go 2. So yeah. Lovely. So then we just divide it by 2 to whatever it needs to be. Therefore, what we can say is yeah, we just set the capital radius to squeeze capital radius. I kind of want to lerp it so that it's like a whatever it needs to be. So if I'm going into something really small, I blend in, or if I'm coming out of something small, I blend out. So the capsule doesn't just go do 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 do. Instead it goes like it's more dynamic, but I might need it sometimes to just close on itself rather than not. So, but now it's fine. And now hopefully for the squeeze at least. The capsule. Squeezing. No, but if I don't need that, because if I have an update capsule, I'm in the advanced locomotion manager. I don't need to specify that's for advanced locomotion manager. Okay, let's just see what happens. Who fucking knows? Could work, could not, probably won't. So as long as it does something. We also have a debug on these, so we should hopefully see what's doing what. No, we don't have a debug on this. Yeah, which is I think important actually, so we don't. Oh, I've got a headache. See, this was staring at the screen does. Looking at too many screens there. So, oh, I just love when it does that. Why is it? Why did it go into? I just love it when that happens. Oh, it's because the capsule. I actually have some. I literally have some. I don't know if they do anything though. I really don't know if they do anything. I literally have some here. I look like thing. Do they do anything? I thought I read something somewhere that I said they literally do nothing. This happens because I think what's happening here is that yeah, I think these values are returning some mad stuff. I'm actually gonna kill this and I'm just gonna print out maybe. Oh, damn. They must. They might do something. I don't know. Just give them a go. I'll stick them on. Why not? It's like you can't make it worse. You know what I mean? So why not? Why not? Why not? So let's see here. Let's see here. So let's go. Future width is. Oh, I see. It's because the thing goes to 0. Basically. Oh, I see. So basically, one of the issues when it goes to 0. So that's 90. So basically, what I'm gonna do is basically, theoretically, there's a couple things you could do here. You could initialize the values really high and then only set them if you actually have collisions. But what I'm going to do instead is I want to set them every time. But instead of doing that way, we're going to set the values, if they're equal to 0, set them super high. So basically, if the value is less than 1, I'm going to set it like ridiculously high, like super high. So let's see. So that calculates the width. Distance between points. I don't want to do it twice, that's the thing. So I've got my values. Yes. You do a couple things here. What I'm gonna do is this. So I can, you know what I mean, play around with this stuff. So let's say here, be techie, future always greater than. Let's just say it's greater than 0. Nah, quite frankly, it's got to be greater than 1. Because if it's 1, then what is it that width? But even it has to be even greater. I'm gonna just say 1 because that's the smallest the capsule can be. If we're gonna add it is like if minimum squeeze distance basically. But if it's greater than 1, greater than 1.0f, actually, let's add it. Minimum. That's pretty. Yeah, min wall distance. That's what it is right there. Like 20. Squeeze minimum width. Then if it's greater than you. So if that is true, then it's going to be the future wall width. If not, if it's less than or it's not greater than or equal to the squeeze minimum width, then I want you to give me STD max. I think this is gonna give me something. And yeah, 9 of them hit, then you know it's not going to be in there. So now we can do this. Crap. Gotta rebuild. Let's put these on. Let's try it. See what happens. I just wish they were a bit cooler. Look a bit. I don't know. I don't know if glasses suit me. Why do people like? They don't look terrible. They look like, I guess, because they can see the screen in my glasses. They look like shit. We go underneath. Oh, they look terrible. It's yellow now. Who knows? See, I knew it. God damn, it's just this. See, I knew it. I knew it. Well, hold on. There's somewhere this is used. I'll see now. I use it somewhere. I don't even know where I use it again. I use like it's like a STD map. It's like a yeah. I use it somewhere. I just need to. I do like a really large value. Float. See, I knew I wasn't crazy. I knew I wasn't. Oh, hold on. Float, and then it's max. Max. I know I use this somewhere. I use it somewhere. I'm standing. See? There we are. You gotta get to somehow. I remember I was like, this is too small. I don't remember how to do this. No, that should give me a massive. That should give me a humongousaurus number. Let's start. I also watched two really good animes recently. Watched Vinland Saga, unbelievable anime, really cool. Can't wait for season 2. And I'm watching Promised Neverland, which is a vibe as well. Oh. Yay. Holy. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Yep. Okay. Yep. Yep. Oh yeah. Because when you turn 3, might give a fat value. It's really clamp it, shouldn't I? Between like a maximum width and a minimum width. That way it doesn't go. That's still gonna be a problem. Well, I guess just don't do this while it's. Turning. We can just then move this. Oh no. Oh, what we can do here, we can do something very cheeky. Very cheeky. Very, very cheeky. Basically, if we're squeezing. So we get the radius, and then we say if we're not rotating. Do all of this to here. Okay. Let me say squeeze capsule radius is equal to that if we're not rotating, so we update it. Otherwise, we just set it to whatever the current capsule radius is. I hope at no point. My only fear is that it might at some point become this, and then that's when it's gonna go just explode. It's gonna become the max value. One fear. Go. Interesting. Interesting. It's not dating at all. It's not even firing off. But yeah, because you don't know if you're gonna be derp. Yeah, that's the problem. If yeah, so this will tell you if I'm gonna be squeezing. I'm kind of confused. Okay, that is just something ain't right. Oh, I got rid of. God, I'm so stupid. I got rid of where it was, where I had update capsule. Derp. Wait, no, wait. I was wondering, I was like, why is it not calling it? Oh, beautiful. There we go. So when we're turning, we don't get any weird. That was a bit. That was a bit janky. See, there's some weird popping of the capsule, and it's fine. So it goes like poop poop. It's a weird stuff because I think it's hitting. Well, that's weird. Nope. There's none. That's fine then. I don't even know what's making it do the doo doo. What? Yeah, what is making it do that? Oh, I see. What? Yeah, it's because. Oh, I see. No, it's because of the wall. It's because like it's going forward in time, and yeah, that makes sense. Makes sense. So basically, that's fine. One of the things is it's going forward in time, and it's like the inner bits are hitting each other. So it's like the inside traces are going doom. They're like hitting, so it's going really small. We can just lerp this value so that it doesn't go. That's also more of a trace issue. That's on making sure the trace is just like we don't have an initial overlap. It is going out because I'm getting the distance towards the impact point. So if it's like this, yeah. So if I'm like this, I don't put it. Yeah, the trace goes in like this way. So if I walk straight, it's fine. But if I walk at an angle, it might hit on the inside of the wall and like collide. But technically, that's a really small thing. So the capsule shrinks, or it could go inside of the wall, really far out, so that it pops out really quickly. That's just I need to clean up the traces. But now let me just do like a lerp. Because one of the main things is I need the capsule to maintain its size relative to the width of the wall, because if it doesn't, what happens is the mesh starts to cross over with the wall itself, especially when you use like IK and stuff. So like if I go an angle, it's gonna do some weird behavior. I think a little lerp could just fix that. Let's see. Yeah, Kada, how are you? Uh, Hopefully it does something. True now. So what are we working on today? Well, we're working on just cleaning up some logic, basically, in terms of changing the capsule width when we're squeezing. That it doesn't want to do. Liking it. Basically, I have some trace, not error, but just discrepancy, which is resulting in annoying stuff happening. I think, you know what, for now, let's just go back to just the setting. I think in general the trace needs to be improved, quite frankly. Which is just like to make sure that it's only picking up when I'm inside the inside of walls, and it doesn't ever like start overlapped or whatever. So, what I could do, a pretty simple way of doing that, is turn it into a sphere trace, and then we check if the sphere starts overlapped. So that will know that if it starts on the inside, if it basically needs to start with nothing inside it, and then it goes out. It's a pretty simple fix, actually, that I could actually do fairly easily. So I'm not too worried about it. It's a very specific scenario, but it is impacting it a fair little bit. Yeah, because it's doing that. I just need to basically change this to a sphere trace and then just do a check. Okay. If I have I do actually. I do have exactly a sphere trace single thing. Funnily enough, I think what I need to add is just the radius. So if I do sphere trace single instead, I'm pretty sure actor the radius, I'll just do that 1.0. This doesn't do a yeah. This is used a lot, actually. Now, one of the issues so this returns the same thing. Let me just go into this function real quick. Return the bool. Return line trace single. Oh, so it just means whether or not it returns something. Okay, yeah, so the same thing. Sphere trace single. 0f. Fantastic. So this is the same thing. And then what we can do is basically instead is when we're doing this, we can just check that none of these traces start colliding, basically, so they don't have like a collision initially before. They don't start penetrating, because if they start penetrating, I think a line trace does the same, but sometimes it's just weird. Okay, so that should do it. Now what we can do is here we can say the future wall width if okay, we need to do a couple things actually. So we need to first check, does it start penetrating, basically. No, actually, don't know, wrong. We should only really go into this because when this is true. So do let's go back. What we're gonna do instead, actually, is we're only gonna go into this like this check for advanced locomotion. We need to make here when we do our hits, we're gonna just basically make sure that the hits don't penetrate here. So we're saying here like the left ground and right ground doesn't do it, whatever. What we need to make sure is now with these, this is our key thing. None of these things start penetrated. So if when we check for the squeeze and we want to set it to squeeze, we need to make sure that whatever hit we're getting, it isn't starting penetrated. And in that case, I think we need a sphere trace. I don't know if the line trace. I think a line trace does start penetrated, but let's see. But I'm not sure. I don't think it does. Yeah, I don't think a line trace can. We also only do 4 traces, and I think, I mean, for all of them we should just do that. So let me just do. And then we want to say this is for balance, but this is just for squeeze. So we want to say, okay, so the left wall and right wall, they both hit, and left wall hits. Yeah, this is. Now what we're saying is the left wall hit, the right wall hit, and the left wall isn't starting penetrating, and the right wall doesn't start penetrating. So that will basically allow us to know whether or not we're actually in a squeeze. So then, when we go to do our lovely check here for whether or not we're in a squeeze, we check whether or not we're currently in a squeeze, we're future in a squeeze, previously in a squeeze. I think we're gonna have to do the same thing again. I do think, but I think in terms of actually whether or not we go into squeeze, I think the same problem is still gonna occur, but it is better still, because in terms of whether or not we go into a squeeze, we still want that logic in place, like accounting for the fact that the tray starts inside a wall. I'm expecting it to still be shit. Yeah, that's what I expected that. Holy mother. Um, um, yeah, quite frankly, we need to do the same thing with yeah, we need to do the same thing with and also this is dangerous. um, yeah. So we need to do the same thing with these. I think the same needs to apply to these. In the sense that yeah, we need to know if we are like when we decipher when we're deciding what width we're gonna be in, we need to very much know whether or not we are starting penetrating or not. Because if so, we don't want to actually look at that width at all. But currently, it's like we go into squeeze right or not, but the capsule doesn't relate. So let's do the same thing. I want to say future wall width is equal to so future wall width is equal to yeah, so future wall width is equal to bonjour, je m'appelle David. The full studio is remote. No. Um, je suis, um, je suis habité, um, dans. Is dans in? Dans. Is that without? No, avec is with. Dans. Dans is in, I think. Dans. Is it Londres? I don't even know. It must be so many years. Dado habite Kingston. Donc, en Kingston, la King. I don't know. Et Guns habite. I'm correct. Say less. See? Je suis français. Merci, merci. Oh. Je suis très fatigué. C'est fatigant. J'habite à Londres. I knew it's Londres. See? See? Oui, oui. Je déteste la France. I do not say language, but France language, French language. No particular reason, just très difficile. Très difficile. What are we doing? Hopefully. La Paris. La tresseur. We should get. I'll happily go if we have to. I will go over and do some. Why don't you work normal? I do work normal hours. I just also work. I just always work. Distance between points. Okay, back to it. So is equal to. So let's think here. So once we get this, I'll be happy. I mean, once we get this, I'll be happy. So the distance between that point and that point. So if the distance between. So first we need to check. We basically say if the left and right the traces don't start penetrating, then this is between points is that. Otherwise, it's going to be 0.0. Okay. Yeah. Otherwise, it's going to be 0.0f. Or we could just say otherwise it's massive. Yeah, we could say otherwise it's just humongous. No, we also need that. Otherwise it's going to be 0. Yo, honest to God, I am the exact same as you. I feel so awake. Like, I mean, I'm tired. I'm tired now, but yeah, there's something about nighttime. I just feel hella awake. Honestly, I just feel hella awake. Something weird. It's definitely not healthy, but okay. And then not even no. I'm just cracking up. You're gonna get no sleep when God of War Ragnarok comes out. Sleep can have me when it ends me. Yeah, 8 p.m. and midnight. That's a solid work time. But I also like to chill during that time. Actually, I find minimum wall width is equal to that. Okay, yeah. So minimum wall width is equal to this, and then we'll so these are redundant. So yeah, minimum wall width is equal to that, and then we'll say so that's the minimum width. So if it's the minimum wall width is less than equal, sorry, the wall width is equal to width is less than or equal to max. We use max width, then it's gonna be well actually Yeah, because I added a new variable. Oh. I would really like for this to work soon. I just want to lie in bed, watch an episode of anime, and go to sleep. I'm gonna be up at 10. I really just don't think it's happening. I don't think I'm up at 10. I'll be up at 10. Will I be up at 10 though? Because also, one thing I need to do before I go to bed as well, I really want to do, is set up all the squeeze and then graph stuff. But I might not be able to have time. If this works, if this scenario works right now, I'll have time. If it doesn't, I'm gonna have time. But we're gonna find out basically. It's not gonna work, I know it, so what's the point? But yeah. 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 Then I'll yeah. How big is the studio? When we have the full team, I think there's going to be about 20 or 30 of us. When we have the full team, I need to start watching Mob Psycho. At the moment, working on the game is full time. Me and Dado, Guns works on it part time, but he's done it fairly often. And then every so often, like a couple of the Drew and Jasmina, they contribute very often. Most out of Storro. And then there's some other people here and there that pitch in as well, like Scarter, some level design, just like every so often. I've got so many to watch. Oh, and I'm watching Promised Neverland at the moment. I just finished Vinland Saga season 1. Oh my! See, it just didn't work out well at all. What in the? What is going on exactly? That's. Why is it just humongous? It's just gigantic, and I don't know why. Why are we? I don't know why it's getting set to something huge though. That's what's crazy to me. If none of them start penetrating. Oh, I'm so stupid. I'm very stupid. It might actually be correct. Because the width of the wall does not equate to the capsule radius, my friends. That is what I need to be doing. Derp. With us all, I was like, why is it? I was like, it's picking it up perfectly, but why is it so damn fat? That's why. I was like, it's getting bigger, not smaller. I was like, why is it getting bigger? It should be doing the opposite. Well, good thing is, it never got really small, which is good, which tells me that maybe, just maybe, it was working. Let's see. Oh, the camera went stupid. Come on, if you love me. Yay! It's doing it. You can't really tell, but it is doing it. And then boop, yay! It actually worked for us. So now if I walk an angle, it shouldn't do anything weird. That's actually pretty perfect. Oh, that's so sexy. Lovely. Do you see? It slightly does change a bit, but now it shrinks. Like, that's so good. So if I walk an angle, technically I have later in. Oh, weird behavior that. Oh, what's happening is, okay. You know what though? Quite frankly, I can just do some more checks because I think what's happening is because I check not whether or not it's actually colliding. I check whether or not there's a distance, because technically if there's no collision, it goes from the trace point to the other collision. So one hits, the other one doesn't. Basically what's happening is one of them is hitting, the other one isn't hitting. This is what I gotta do basically. That is the most like accurate statement you'll ever know. How do you know you're progressing? You discover another problem. Then it's like, oh, how do I fix this problem? And that will make another problem. You're like, I fixed that problem. And then you know when you made real progress, when you realize that you've stumbled upon a problem, that means you have to change how you did everything up to that point. That's real progress. And that's when you release a new version, and then the cycle begins again. And then you cry yourself to sleep, and you wake up in the morning, and then you realize you asked for this world. No, not even. They just do it for free at the moment, because obviously we're trying to get secure publishing, or release 0.10 and see how much gauge how much we support and backers we can get from that, and then see what the vibe is. Because obviously, I mean, with me and Dado, it'll probably take us a good few years, at this pace, to release the game. We don't. I want to be alive when this game releases. So, what was I doing? I was gonna do something. I don't know what though. This check just needs to be a bit more complex. So basically, the width should only not be 0 if both hit. So then it should update the capsule. If both hit. So if both hit, then basically because the issue I was doing before is one might hit, the other one might not hit. Do you mean one hits, the other one doesn't hit? This still gives me a distance, and the distance is smaller, so I have a bit of that. I mean, regardless, I need to add a lerp so that it blends the size of the capsule, but we should still make the trace logic really robust. So ignore how ugly this is going to look. That sounds about correct. And when that literally sounds about correct. You can't get it more. You can't get it more right now, to be honest. This is what I'm saying. People really don't realize. People always ask what is? Even when people ask programming in general or software development or whatever you're doing. Even when I was working in Python, when I do Python dev or whatever like that, it's to say that 95% of it is just finding out, fixing stuff that doesn't work. Because I can tell you the logic of how to do things. It makes that's just problem solving. Anyone can problem solve. It's just learning how to fix the problems. That's literally it, and what to put and what to try and how to navigate stuff. Animation is really interesting. See, for me, one of the things that I'm loving about this is like it's quite because there's so little of us. I'm learning like every aspect of it, like from sound to clothing to X to Y to Z. You know what I mean? It's kind of just learning it all. Um, Yay! Actually went really small for a sec. I don't know why. Why did he go really small? Somebody tell me please why it went really small. I quite like that. I feel like it works worse now. What the hell? That works pretty well, to be honest. It's a very specific stuff. I feel like with a bit of a lerp, it works pretty well, quite frankly. Just a bit of a blend in and out of that thing. Oh, that's terrible. Why is it doing that? See, why is it? It shouldn't be tiny. At no point should it be tiny. I wanna go. Goddamn, why it's tiny? Where would it be tiny though? If you actually walk into the thing, it's fine. So when you come in at some weird ass angle, that works well. Okay. We don't have any as much. Oh God, it works worse. Yeah, that works well. It actually works freaking worse. See, shimmy, that's fine. Oh, mother. Why does it work worse when I added that? So it doesn't start penetrating. Has a hit. Left has a hit. No me gusta. Why though? Left is hitting, right is hitting, neither are penetrating. I need to see the trace to know what the hell is like. I'm trying to think what could be colliding with what, with who, what, and where to yield. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna do one test. It's also because this could be a very hyper specific case in which I knew it would be as well. I just knew it was going to be this. It's like a hyper specific case when the wall is really thin. Look, that's so stable. That's beautifully stable. Basically, the case is when the wall is hella thin. Yeah, and you see it just like when the walls are thin, there's some like penetration problems that is causing issues. Basically, that is. Other than that, it's pretty stable. Like if I turn this off, oh, I just turned it on. If I turn this off, you wouldn't even notice. It should just like you wouldn't even tell. And it did stop you going in at some point. But yeah, hypothetically, you should just be able to. Yeah, there you go. See, yeah, I knew it. Yeah, so there's something going on with the So basically, what's happening is, so when the wall is thin, the trace I do shoots out from the character. Like, pretend it's on me and it shoots out that way. To try and find walls either side. So what's happening, however, is when the wall is really thin, sometimes because the trace doesn't start dead on me center. Sometimes when the wall's really thin, sometimes the trace like will shoot out, but like it will start inside the wall, And if it starts inside the wall, because I'm tracing ahead of time, remember? So if it starts inside a wall because I'm tracing ahead of time, it means that, yeah, basically it's like, if it starts inside a wall because I'm tracing ahead of time, it means the, whatever boop I hit, what's it called? Yeah, whatever, like, thing I hit, like, hits inside the wall. Now I changed it to a sphere trace so that I can check whether or not the sphere starts penetrating, like, because it's like, if the sphere is being penetrated inside the wall, it should return false, of like, there's no, it's, well, the sphere starts inside the wall, therefore it's doing it. Now the other thing I think is happening is when you come at an angle, what I think is happening is one of the wall, it's like hitting, but it's like the angle at which it's hitting is sort of like it's hitting the edge of one, not the other, and it's like yeah, it's just like a weird, it's making the value small, like the distance between the hits is small, because I think rather than getting, yeah, basically rather than getting the distance from here to there, I think it's getting the distance from this top surface point and like this point here or whatever, like the start of it's getting like the smallest possible value, which is a bit crap, but yeah, it's getting like this to this, and it's like really then, yeah, like for sure the outside face of the wall is what's meant is the problem. You know what I could just, and one of the things that is like I could do is check the normals, but obviously that would entail that like the normal of the wall, like the wall isn't slanted or whatever, like the wall could be curved, and then the wall normal would be weird, but it should still theoretically allow me to, you know, it's a very hyper specific problem, and I think quite frankly I can fix it just by lerping the radius, so that the radius shrinks to the point and grows to the point at which I want it to go to, rather than because if you see there's a little bit of jumpiness in the capsule that's causing it to go do. So I think, yeah, just a bit more smooth, like just a slight lerp in the capsule radius would make all the difference in the world. I also think maybe just see what all this will do here. Well, I need to. Yeah, I think really a smooth lerp of the radius is all I really need. Because I think that just that very quick, yeah, that very quick thing is a problem. I think that's just the main. That's just, I mean, we can also just like just connect this, and we can actually be in thingy locomotions. Okay, then we can do like the squeeze stuff. So if I do this, you'll like. See, I thought I was gonna do something. Yeah, I really thought I was gonna do something, but did nothing. I think quite frankly the collision detection is fine. Because actually the capsule size I'm getting in this scenario is actually not weird. See, one weird thing though is because if you see technically the capsule size is constantly changing, which is like you don't really want. That's why I'm getting a bit of a bumpy thing. Interestingly enough, so now it's doing a squeeze, but when I go in that direction there, okay, that's fine. Well, there you go. Oh, you know what? The main thing that I was worried about was the turning, inside, but it actually turns really smoothly. Ah, I think, yo, something's wrong with my anim graph. I think there's something going on here. Something ain't right. Advanced locomotion states. Squeeze. Yeah. Well, let's debug this. I can debug this. We can. So you can actually see what's going on. So now we can see the anim graph. Now we're in squeeze. Okay, so we're in squeeze, but it's not doing the squeeze animation. So now it's going to squeeze. That's why then, isn't it? Input move speed equals jog. Now let's sit in here and see if it goes to jog. See what happens here. I've got an extra screen. I do have an extra screen. It's just I'm just doing this so you guys can see it as well, because I'm just that kind of nice. I'm just that nice. You know what I mean? I'm just doing it so you guys can see it too. Okay, now we're here. Now let's do our last check. It's playing the loop, but it's not playing the loop. What? What? To be fair, a load of these don't actually have animations added to them, so that's might be why. But it's some weird going in and out. There's a really weird thing happening. Why is it stuck in there? I need to know. Why is it stuck in that though? That's weird. There's some weird behavior going on. Because yeah, this is just an automatic rule. It should never get stuck in here because once the animation finishes playing, it should just come out. Yeah. So I think there's some. I think my anim blueprint is just bugged, quite frankly, because I'm in the right state. It's just not playing the animation, which is just a very weird behavior. Um, like it just makes no sense. I think a lot of some of this is bugs because this is working. The actual animation logic should work fine. So, uh, yeah. Um. Okay. In terms of the capsule, let um. Let me just see where we use this love. Yeah, oh god, me too, man. It really has, man. Honestly. Um. I don't. Right. I don't think this is gonna work. Don't think this is gonna work. No. Why the hell are you T-posing though? Don't. My goodness, it did work. You don't even see the capsule go. Pretty sexy, if you ask me. You don't even see the capsule change size. Just looks like it's all the same. Yeah, it's super. That's okay. Well, the real test is when we shrink this thing even smaller. You know? Can it fit in a hole like this? Nope. It cannot. Maybe that's because it's just not wide enough. The minimum width was like 20, wasn't it? So maybe. Right. 10? Maybe rerun. I don't also, that's what's going on with my anim graph. It's just being really crappy. It's just not doing the animation, even though the graph is in there. Which makes no sense to me. But hey ho. Hey ho. Sure, also. Do you know what I mean? Honestly. He's being right annoying. Also could be that I didn't quite think of. What it could be is It probably will. Probably will. Hopefully this does something. If it doesn't, okay. Should be like this sometimes. It do be doing this in the time it do be doing. What? Which for? You done diddly be simulating. Talk to me. It's pissing me off. When I turn around, that doesn't make any sense. That literally makes no sense. That's so stupid. So it seems to be the transition in is. Why is it? And now it. Whatever. That wasn't what I was debugging. Hello, Cole Thornton. Welcome to the community. CM.enable debug 1. Alright, what was I debugging? I want to debug this. Okay, no, I do be shrinking. That's what I'm about to do now. Bad work, man. Pissed if it don't. Well, this is just stupid. It doesn't fit in the hole. I'm hella confused. Yeah, because there's an issue. Yeah, future squeeze width is 66. So then the capsule should be like 33 or something. Yeah, future squeeze width is 66. It's size wrong. Something is wrong. Okay, so future squeeze width is 66. Then we say here wall width. If future wall width is greater than squeeze minimum width, which it is, yeah. Future wall width. Oh, it's because of my smooth. This is wrong. Because it doesn't save the spring state. It really doesn't save the spring state. This is wrong. This is very, very wrong. This is just wrong in every single way. That's why it's not doing this. Because look, if I do this, watch, it's gonna work. If I do this, it's gonna work just fine. Just watch. Want to hear me out? If I do that, it's gonna work. I guarantee you. 100%. 1,000,000%. It will now go into the smaller hole. Because that spring state isn't ever saved. I'm initial. I don't know why I thought that would work in the first place. I'm initializing the value every time I call it, which means it just goes back to 0. So then it just always takes the biggest one. Duh. Compile. What? This is how stupid Unreal is. Watch this. It's gonna work this time. It's gonna build now. Oh, it doesn't. What the fuck? Why is it not building? Bedtime soon. Honestly. Spring state undeclared identity. Oh, that's why it wasn't working. There's a red thing there. Oh yes, because I need to do this. Well, yeah, there was no point. I know it's gonna work because I've done it before, so that's not the issue. The issue is. Let's go here. Yeah. Okay. Oh. 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 Mm. Hopefully it works. Doesn't, I'll cry myself to sleep. Kill the spring, I'll do that tomorrow. And then, yeah, I'll kill the spring. I'll do that tomorrow. Tomorrow I can look at doing. Yeah, that capsule shrinking is really important. Because it needs to, quite frankly. I think it's easy. What's so annoying is you could easily just do it like I did it before. Because I'm trying to scale it based on the speed at which the character's moving. Like you could just go like half a meter in front and you just wouldn't have this issue. Is he gonna let me in though? That's the question now. God damn it, man. Wait. So future squeeze 66 point. What in? I give up with this crap. I'll figure out the lab stuff tomorrow. You need, I know, it just needs, I just can't be asked to do it the way where you have to like get an alpha and update the alpha and do that each bloody frame. I thought the spring stuff would be easy, but clearly not. Oh. Lord. As long as this shrinks and does what I need, as long as it lets me get into all the different spaces, I'm happy. Then tomorrow I can figure out what the hell the anim graph has been so crazy. I don't know why it's doing that. But yeah, tomorrow I'll figure that out. And then once I figured that out, we can add the logic for the shimmy. And then do the logic for the shimmy. Then hopefully at the end of this week I really want to have shimmies, squeezes, balances done and out the way. Dado can keep working on his jumps, and while he's working on jumps, I want to move on and I want to work on. I really want to move on from these three states. But if they're ticked off, I'm happy. Like balancing, squeezing, and shimmying. If they're ticked off, I'm happy. So we can tick them off, and then we can work on what can we work on. Well, then I want to do swing, like lâcher, like swings, like. Well, we need to redo the climb ups. Then we can add back in the climb ups. I can add back in the climb ups. Once the climb ups, the balancing, the shimmies and squeezes all in, Dado can just focus solely on the jumps. And then I can, clean up the UI, redo the clothing. Then with whatever spare time I have, look at adding the lâcher. That'd be nice. It's the dream. He does adjust. That's all I care about right now. Quite frankly. Frankly. So you're gonna squeeze in this gap? Please be able to squeeze it. Oh, lovely jubbly. That's what I want to see. That's what we care about. See, that isn't it. God damn. See, I think what if we just only update the capsule? My fear though is because the capsule gets updated every frame. If I don't call the update capsule every frame outside of that, I think. Do I need to do? I think I need to move this. Me and Dad are the main team. Me and Dad are the ones on it full time at the moment. Sorry. The ones on it full time at the moment. Yeah. But there's a few other people working as well. Like Guns works on it a lot. Um, I think 21. Can you do something for me? I think so. If locomotion turn equals null. God damn! Why is it when it's turning the capsule goes on a mad one? If it's not turning, it should just be. That's what's crazy for me. The capsule just goes on a mad one when it's turning. See, it goes on a mad one when it turns. I don't know why it goes on a mad one. It just goes crazy. How does it go crazy? What am I doing? Just for now, I don't want to leave something broken. So if it's turning, it should just set tiny as hell. See, but the problem is, yeah, when it reverts back from turning, it's because it's gone, because the capsule ain't keeping it. Got that. Oh, that makes a lot of sense. What we could do is this. Oh, it's not gonna work. Yeah, I know it shrinks. It shrinks and grows as and how it needs to. That's fine. I was doing that ages ago. I feel drunk, tired. I need it to just freaking stay the same fucking thing when it does that. Which this should do. Like if it's like this is where it updates it. Like this gets the current radius. I feel like this is useless. This is complete. This bit here is useless. Yeah, we don't because then we're setting the radius regardless. So why the hell do we need this bit here? Oh. We don't need that bit there. We literally don't need that line of code. I'm like tearing up. I bet you as well what's crazy is that sometimes what you need to do to make the anim loop more is like delete and re-add in the node sometimes, and it does it. So it's so stupid. It's so stupid. It's such a weird. A lot of bugs sometimes in Unreal. Thank God. Oh, I'm so happy about that. Thank Jesus. Let me just make sure the capsule is doing what I needed to do. As long as I go in, it changes size. Okay, it changes size, and if I turn, it just stays the same size. It's just beautiful. It's just beautiful. Why does it grow in size? 40. 44. That's what I want to know, why the hell it grows in size. Oh, probably because as it's turning, I think it picks up a new trace. Yeah, that would make sense. As it's doing the turn. Yeah, that makes sense. So the new size it picks up is as it's turned. That's fine, to be fair. As long as you have we just need a blend between. Like, generally, as long as the lerps, it will be fine. Yeah, I don't think we need this. I already did it. Just like set the radius, set the value to the current radius. Like, what? We also don't need this. God, I'm pissing myself off. Yeah, because set the radius to that, but then go ahead and set the radius to the radius. What stupidity is that? It should work. The exact same as it's working just now. And if it does that, I'm a happy person. Oh, hurry up. What is going on? Alright, let's see. Yes. Oh my goodness, finally. Do you see? Oh, beautiful, just beautiful. And now it goes in, and then when I rotate, it doesn't change the size of the capsule. How amazing is that? It's just fantastic. If you go in here, and then I rotate, and the capsule stays the same size. Okay, the animation blueprint is going wild. I don't know what's going on, but that, people, is exactly what I wanted to see. And you see how the capsule pops out. The capsule got bigger only after I had come out, like fully come out of the wall, so that it doesn't do a little thing. That was literally all I had wanted to do. Now, if I do this, that's a bit small, but theoretically it should go in this gap. And now, if I slide out, poop, yay. But because it takes a second for it to And if you see, it tries to adjust the capsule before it goes in the wall so we can have a smooth transition. So if you see, before I've gone into the wall, it will now adjust the capsule. It's like, okay, now, okay, adjust the capsule before you go in so that we don't ever have a bit of a stiffy collision going in. All like coming out of it looks perfect. Coming at an angle. Fair enough. Yeah, I'm really not fussed about that happening because that makes sense. We can also make the squeeze detection way more robust, like to like tell me that I'm in a squeeze, like even as I'm turning, like because there sometimes it doesn't recognize you're in a squeeze because you could turn, and like technically you're not in a squeeze, but it means that like I could basically do 360-degree squeeze detection. I'm not gonna do it right now, but yeah, one of the really good things here, if you see, although the capsule is going bigger and smaller, you don't actually get any jumpy movement. I take that back. But yeah, again, that's like a weird edge case. Yeah, that's because the capsule grew fat as you try to walk in. I think really that's yeah. Do you want? I think really that is improving the detection more than the scaling. I think the scaling is actually spot on. I think all it is improving whether or not you know you're going to be in there in the squeeze, basically. I think that's all that needs to be improved. I think my squeeze detection could just be better. I'll have a look at that tomorrow. But in regard to adjusting the capsule size, I'm happy. Tomorrow, all I need to do now is lerp it so that it doesn't just go doop doop. It goes like woo, woo, and grows and shrinks in size. So that's what I got to do tomorrow for that. I don't know what's up with this guy. It's pissing me off. I'm hoping just a fresh reboot of everything will do it, but I don't know. But yeah, alright, stream. I'm gonna call it a night. I'll go be up at 10 a.m. so for a stand up. So yeah, it's fun actually. I quite enjoyed that. Such little progress, like in terms of actually what has been done. Like technically, you guys wouldn't even see anything that's been done, but 3 hours of work went into just do that, making the capsule go doo. That was so stupid. But yeah, cool. I'm gonna stream again tomorrow. I've not been streaming consistently. I left it all down to Dado because I took a bit of a break from streaming because I was just enjoying working whilst like watching an anime or listening to my own music. But I do miss streaming a bit. It's quite fun. Good chatting to you guys as well. And yeah, cheers Moritaka and ACH for joining. Yeah, I'll catch you guys in a bit.